Hi, welcome back to another Daily R React. Um, React to this next one. Sorry if you hear noise moving because I forgot to set up. Okay, next one is this one, and let's just watch this next few. You're gonna be great. Ooh, dang, that's going. Ooh, okay. Yes. Okay, they're not that long, so for them, not for me. Mine is gonna be like, I don't know, 20 minutes at least. Let's go.
How many of you would at least on occasion like to be out of the relationship you're in?
My neighbor has been leaving for sale signs in my yard every night for weeks. I caught her on camera doing it. Tonight, I'm replacing her wedding photos on Facebook with pictures of her with his brother. I moved into the house on Maple Street 3 years ago, excited to finally own my first home.
That's that's okay.
The neighborhood was quiet, the kind of place where people waved from their front porches and borrowed sugar from each other. That is, until Karen.
Oh, so you don't watch this without me commentating, you go to the Daily Lore, which obviously I link in the description of every video I review, every video I react to, and I'm probably not gonna react to any other. I don't think anytime soon. I don't know if I will because that seems like a lot of work. Because then I have to actually put their. I have to put. It's too much work. I'd rather just do daily lore and that's it. So I'm probably not gonna react to any other um, Reddit. So yeah.
Murphy moved in next door 6 months ago. At first, she seemed normal enough. Mid-40s, polished appearance, always dressed like she was heading to a PTA meeting. She brought over cookies when she first moved in, the kind you buy from the grocery store bakery and transfer to a homemade-looking plate. I appreciated the gesture and invited her to see my garden, my pride and joy after years of apartment living. That was my first mistake. "Oh, you're growing tomatoes," she said, squinting at my neat rows of vegetables. "They look a bit small for this time of year. But I'm sure they'll catch up." She smiled, but something in her tone suggested they wouldn't. Over the next few weeks, Karen started dropping subtle critiques disguised as helpful suggestions. My lawn was perfectly fine, though a bit uneven in spots. My choice of outdoor furniture was interesting, very bohemian. My work hours were flexible, which must be nice when you run your.
She knows what she's doing. Like, come on, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You're trying to act all be like, oh, I'm just critiquing. Oh, I'm just trying to be helpful. But let's all be real. You're just trying to be in the morally right. So if somebody tries to call you out, there you could flip it on them. I'm just trying to help. That's basically what it is.
Little website business from home. I run a successful SEO consulting firm with 6 employees and annual revenue that would make Karen's realtor husband proud, but I let these comments slide. Everyone has their quirks, and I wasn't about to let a nosy neighbor ruin my peace. Then came the lawn signs. The first one appeared on a Tuesday morning. I left for my morning run and came back to find a for sale sign planted firmly in my front yard. I assumed it was a mistake and pulled it out, tossing it in the garage. The second one appeared 3 days later. Different design, same message. This time, I asked Karen if she'd seen anything unusual. She shook her head, concern etched on her Botoxed brow. How strange. Property values in this neighborhood are holding steady. You certainly wouldn't want to sell now, not with the market being what it is. By the third sign, I suspected something was going on. By the seventh, I was sure it was intentional.
It was intentional. The message is you should leave. That was the message. You should leave. That's it. Honestly, some people are stupid. I mean, if we're talking about being a grown up, I mean, talking is the most grown up thing you could do, which it's a pretty short bar. It's a short bar. It's a normal human. thing to do to talk. So I mean, it's a very short bar. Come on, talking is free. Anyone could do it. But no, you decide to talk, be like, I am. You are praising her, or you are saying something good, but you're also saying something not good as well. Mm. But obviously, she's not gonna say, because there's no right way to say, I don't want you in this neighborhood. Because who cares about what you want? Like, seriously, it's not your house. You don't live with me. You live next to me. You stay over there if you don't want to converse with me. Talk to me. If you don't want to talk to me, stay over there. Don't come over here. Just stay in your lane, and then we don't have to converse. Talk.
Each morning, I'd wake up to find a new for sale sign in my yard. Different real estate companies, different designs, but always placed precisely in the same spot, visible from the street. I confronted Karen directly after the 10th sign. Have you noticed anyone in my yard at night? These signs keep appearing, and I'm getting concerned. Oh my, that must be so stressful, she said, touching my arm with practiced sympathy. You know, I did mention to Donald at the HOA that your yard has been looking a bit neglected lately. Maybe someone thinks the house is abandoned? Abandoned? My yard was immaculate. I mowed every Saturday, edged the sidewalk, and even installed a sprinkler system last month. But I didn't.
That'll be better than our yard. Like, my God, she a fucking. That's just. Okay. Okay. I see how we're doing this. She wants to play it like this. I gotcha.
My tongue and thanked her for her concern. After 2 weeks of sign removal, I decided to set up a security camera. Nothing fancy, just a basic wireless model aimed at my front yard. The first night produced nothing unusual.
Yeah, some people, I guess some people died. For some reason, that's like the last resort. For some reason, you forget the option of a security camera until you could think, oh wait, I could record. I could put up a security camera. Or is there some reason why people don't want to do that? I don't understand.
The second night, however, captured everything. At 2:37 a.m., my motion sensor triggered. On screen, clear as day, was Karen Murphy in her coral pink bathrobe, carrying a for sale sign across my lawn. She planted it carefully, stepped back to admire her handiwork, then scurried back to her house. I saved the footage but didn't confront her immediately.
Why are you in a bathrobe? At 2 a.m.? Why are you in a bathrobe? Did she just finish? No, why would you take a shower at 2 a.m.? That, unless you're trying to cover up whatever you have underneath, whatever your pajamas are, whatever you're wearing for nighttime.
If years of running a business had taught me anything, it was to gather all the facts before acting. Instead, I started observing Karen more carefully. That's when I discovered her obsession with the Hendricks house. The Hendricks lived 2 doors down in the neighborhood's crown jewel, a Victorian-style home with a wraparound porch and perfectly manicured garden. Sarah Hendricks was everything Karen aspired to be, effortlessly elegant, genuinely friendly, and quietly wealthy. The house had been in her family for generations, recently appraised at nearly $1 million.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent, adaptive, effortless.
Generations, recently appraised at nearly $1 million. I noticed Karen constantly dropping by the Hendricks place with casseroles, offering to water their plants when they traveled, and asking detailed questions about their future plans. Sarah, being the polite person she was, humored Karen's attention. One afternoon, while pruning my roses, I overheard Karen on her phone. Yes, I'm certain they're thinking of selling. Sarah mentioned traveling more, and that house is really too big for just 2 people. If we could just convince them before anyone else. No, I don't think they've listed yet. That's perfect timing for us. The puzzle pieces clicked into place. Karen wanted the Hendricks house but needed them to make space in the neighborhood's tight market first. Her scheme was simple: make my house appear to be for sale to create the illusion of turnover, hoping it would inspire the Hendricks to consider selling. I decided to play the long game.
Oh, that is stupid, but it makes sense. I gotcha. I see. But I don't think that would work. I don't think it works, honestly.
The following night, I didn't remove the for sale sign Karen planted. Instead, I printed professional looking under contract stickers and placed them on the sign. When Karen saw it the next morning, I caught her panic-stricken expression before she composed herself. "Congratulations." She called over, forced cheer in her voice. "I see you sold. When are you moving?" "Actually, we fell through," I replied loudly enough for other neighbors to hear. "Buyer's financing didn't work out. But several others are interested. This neighborhood's really heating up." Karen's smile tightened. "How unfortunate. Well, I'm sure the right buyer will come along." Later that week, I overheard Karen at the mailbox telling Mrs. Peterson from across the street,
Oh shit, that's hilarious. That's funny. That derails her whole plan. Oh, that's just that's good. That's good.
"Did you hear? The Hendricks are thinking of selling." Sarah mentioned something about downsizing now that their children have moved away. Sarah never said any such thing. Karen was manufacturing urgency. The final piece of my counterplan required some digital detective work. I'd noticed Karen frequently posted on our neighborhood's Facebook group, especially photos from social gatherings and local events. She was particularly active in the Maple Street Memories photo album, which documented neighborhood events going back years. While browsing old photos, I found something interesting. In pictures from the previous year's block party, Karen appeared frequently with a man who looked very similar to her husband, Donald. Initially, I assumed it was Donald himself, but the caption on one photo read, "Great seeing Dave and Karen at the annual barbecue." Dave was Donald's brother, a detail I'd learned from neighborhood gossip. He lived in Michigan and rarely visited. But in several photos, Dave and Karen appeared together, including one where they were laughing privately in a corner, another where Karen had her hand on his arm, and several more showing them leaving the party together while Donald chatted with other neighbors. I saved these photos, along with screenshots of Karen's posts praising.
Okay. Is anything going on between them? That's the thing. I can't really deduce anything with this information. I'm assuming so because of, I mean, I kind of deduce it. Sorta. She probably maybe had a fling with him.
Dave's surprisingly mature outlook on life and observations about how family connections can sometimes run deeper than we expect. On Friday night, after removing yet another for sale sign, I'd lost count by this point, I executed my plan. Using a basic photo editing app, I carefully replaced Donald with Dave in several of Karen's wedding photos that she'd posted to Facebook. The quality wasn't perfect, but to casual observers scrolling through their feed, the images appeared legitimate enough. I scheduled the posts to go live during peak social media hours, added captions like 10 years with my love and forever and always, and added tag.
Oh, so you're okay. I see. That's, I mean, like you said, it's probably not the best work if you look at it long enough, but most people on social media, like TikTok, you just look at it and scroll. Look at it and scroll. You don't really study it for a long period of time. Maybe some people will, but mass majority of people just glance at it, and just keep scrolling.
To ensure wide visibility within our neighborhood network. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a local Facebook group notification. The comments had started. "Wait, Karen, I thought you married Donald? Is this Donald's brother Dave? This is so confusing. Karen, are you okay? Did your account get hacked? I watched from my bedroom window as Karen rushed to check her phone, still in her bathrobe. Her shriek of horror was audible from across our yards. Within an hour, she'd taken down the posts, but not before dozens of neighbors had seen it and commented. The damage was done. Speculation flew through the neighborhood grapevine like wildfire. Donald arrived home earlier than usual that afternoon. I observed from my living room as Karen frantically explained something to him, gesturing wildly with her hands. He looked confused, then concerned, then angry. That evening, while watering my garden, Sarah Hendricks approached me. Megan, have you been getting those for sale signs too? Karen mentioned you'd been having issues. Oh yes, I replied, pulling out my phone. Actually, I installed a security camera. Want to see who's been putting them there? I showed Sarah the footage of Karen planting signs in my yard. Her eyes widened. That's bizarre. Why would she do that? I have a theory, I said, then shared everything I'd observed about Karen's obsession with the Hendricks house. Sarah was quiet for a moment. You know, Karen has been asking very specific questions about our house. Whether we'd consider cash offers, how much updating we thought it needed, if we knew what the market value was. It explains a lot, I agreed.
Yeah. That explains way too much. Honestly, you have way too much time on your hand if you're doing all this shit. I mean, I know she's probably a housewife, most likely, for no reason, honestly. From what I hear, they don't have any kids or anything, so I think she's a stay-at-home. Not even she's just a stay-at-home wife. She's not even taking care of anyone that I hear. I didn't hear them have any kids unless I listened back to this and realized they do. But I don't think they have any kids, so I think she's just a stay-at-home wife that doesn't have a job. Unless she does, and they just glance over that. But or a home job. But from what it sounds like, she doesn't have a job and she has way too much time on her hands. She's way too bored.
Days later, I woke to find no sign in my yard for the first time in weeks. Instead, I saw a moving truck in Karen's driveway. Not the Hendricks, as she had planned, but her own. Donald filed for separation that week, citing irreconcilable differences. Karen's brother-in-law Dave had apparently sent screenshots of their private messages to Donald, including several where Karen complained about her boring marriage and mentioned Dave's understanding nature. The moving truck was followed by a real for sale sign the following week. Karen's carefully curated neighborhood image had crumbled, taking her marriage with it. The photos I
That's fucking hilarious, ironic.
posted had been the catalyst, but the house of cards she built had been unstable all along. 3 months later, Sarah Hendricks knocked on my door with a plate of homemade cookies, actually homemade, still warm from the oven. I wanted to thank you, she said. If you hadn't shown me that footage, we might have sold our house unnecessarily. We weren't planning to move, but Karen had us seriously considering it. She was quite convincing.
Oh, that
I
sucks.
agreed.
Ooh, yeah, she probably was convincing. I would probably be convinced, maybe. I mean, maybe not, because why does it matter to you in the first place? I mean, most people are not really that helpful, and even if you are, I mean, if I just moved in, obviously that's a different story. But if I've been here for like 10 years and you've known me for 10 years or so, and I no kids in the house, obviously I have the best house on the neighborhood, and you want it, I mean, I get it, but why? I mean, yes, there's a lot of space, but I mean, we can use that space. I just don't understand why. Yeah, I don't get it. How can you actually be like, I'm convinced, let's sell? Nah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Too convincing, Sarah smiled. Sometimes the people who seem most helpful are the ones you should watch most carefully. I never told Sarah about the Facebook photos. Some secrets are better left buried with the past. But every time I work in my garden now, I think about that summer and how a few sleepless nights turned into the neighborhood's biggest scandal. The for sale signs stopped appearing after Karen left, taking their twisted purpose with them. The Hendricks still live in their Victorian house. Donald eventually remarried to a very nice woman who keeps to herself, and I still run my business from my home office, my tomatoes now thriving thanks to the absence of Karen's shadow. Sometimes, late at night, when I check my security camera, I swear I can see Karen's coral pink bathrobe in the distance, watching from across town. But it's probably just my imagination. After all, some neighbors
Or
leave a lasting impression long after they're
is it your imagination? Who knows?
gone. The best part? My property value has actually increased significantly since Karen left. Turns out, a peaceful neighborhood without scheming neighbors is highly desirable in today's market.
This is what's actually happening in your body when the scale won't budge. For weeks, my scale showed I wasn't losing weight despite diet.
So true. Honestly, your neighborhood will skyrocket if your neighborhood is actually desirable. And nothing screams desirable like a screaming Karen outside trying to pick a fight with every single neighbor, or an HOA that is very controlling, that wants to basically control everything about your home that you bought. Yeah, that sounds very desirable. Otherwise, having a quiet neighborhood with a good HOA is not desirable at all, right? My neighborhood. Okay, yep, that's it. Not gonna edit that out, but my neighbor has been leaving for sale signs in my yard every night for weeks. I caught her on, and that was Dead Spies Reddit story react. Have a good day, a good night, a good evening, and a good morning. See you next time.